What's up, guys? My name is Toshens, more known as Unknown or whatever. Today we are back with another new video. I know you're excited for this video. It's been a while since I thought of it. Then today we're doing with it. This video is going to explain all the new mechanics about all the new Tutis in Tuti Run Tower of Adventure. So, let's our first a disclaimer. Everything shown in this video is mostly from the Tower of Build server. So if you want to join it, I will have the link in the description, just like I did with my last video. Anyway, let's start, guys. Firstly, we're going to start with Stardust today. Stardust is going to be a Misted fighter TPS and he will be a ranger. You guys should have plenty of time to take ranger skill potions to get him to level 12. Anyway, let's start with his basic attack and passive. His attack will consist of a 3 combo basic attack as shown in this video, and holding his attack will lead to him doing an explosion light AoE damage. And interesting mechanic that is first into a history is a DPS Tuti applying debuff to enemies. Enemies hit with a charge attack or a SS will get a debuff which increases damage taken from Tutis. It is really interesting. First in the history of the game, I did expect him to have a debuff, which is why I thought he will be a cadre, but a debuff as a DPS is going to be insanely interesting, especially when trying to think of his rotation. Moving on to his special skill. It would be used in two different ways. The first is a normal tap. It will send Tomets in a circle around him. When they come into contact with enemies, they explode. Secondly, when holding his special skill, it sends Tomets in a certain direction. It will be more precise and deal more damage, especially to bosses, which is more the DPS focus rather than AoE. Now, let's move on to his ultimate. Now, with his ultimate, he flies into the air and falls down, dealing damage in a huge AoE area. Afterwards, his basic attack becomes enhanced, dealing damage in a straight line and piercing enemies after certain hits. With a certain amount of BA hits, he will start summoning shadows of himself that also attack with the same enhanced basic attack. Now, this is an interesting thing, probably more AoE focus rather than boss focus, but I'm sure he will be much better than somebody like Shining Berry in Light or something like that. Anyway, moving on to Milky Way. His basic attack and passive. First, he is a Mr. Smash Tadder. Although many people expected him to be a DPS, he turned out to be a Tadder, which isn't a bad choice at all, rather a more interesting concept. His attack is composed of a 2-combo basic attack with his whole basic attack causing meteors to rain down within a small area. His passive is the more interesting thing about him. Using his SS or ult creates starlight candles, so letting these candles grants a small amount of healing and movement speed. Yes, you did hear that right. He is going to heal. This is a first in the game's history. As for Stardust applying debuff, this update is full of new concepts and new design, new mechanics and new designs and that kind of stuff. This is probably one of the best, if not the best update since the release. Anyway, moving on to his special. He summons the Dream Express, dealing damage in front of the Tuti and seems like moving with the Dream Express. It is quite good considering movement-wise. He applies also the same debuff as Stardust with his special skill, where it deals more damage, taking more damage from Tutis, as we said. Lastly, it's his ultimate. His ultimate, he summons the Dream Express, dealing damage in a vertical wide area and creating an area similar to Do's one inside, attacking enemies within it. It does seem kind of a single target, mainly more boss focused rather than area focused, which is good. It should remain after Milky Way is switched out. So if it does, that's good. If it doesn't, that will be more of a disappointment rather. Anyway, lastly, to our spotlight of this update. The spotlight of this update is the Moonlight today. Moonlight today is the spotlight. Let's start talking about her. First, she is a Mystic Mage element. She will be our main DPS main support this update. Anyway, let's start with her hold basic attack and dash. Her holding her basic attack applies sleep to enemies. We don't know whether that is a stun or whether it's another effect or whether it affects bosses at all, but it's probably going to be a stun, and affecting bosses wouldn't really work well with the day maintenance and that kind of stuff, so I don't expect it to include bosses. As another thing is her dash. Holding her dash leads to a brief movement speed increase. After dashing, it does seem very fast, to be honest. Would have a bit of uses in maybe trying to speedrun the story mode, the rankings leaderboard, but other than that, it's just a dash. Now for her special skill. Her special skill is she fires a crescent shape. Now you can't see it in the Tower of Bells. Sorry, for that they put the basic attack and dash accidentally instead of it, but I did see it and did analyze it. She fires a crescent shape moon that applies shield to allies, doing major AoE damage in a straight line as it seems, clearing and possible of clearing an enemy wave alone, which is pretty insane for an AoE special skill. Finally, moving on to her ultimate. Her ultimate, which is made up of 3 stages. First stage, using it creates a field that reduces enemy defense and increases allies' total damage. I'm sure, just because of that total damage increase, she will be the best support to like the end of the year or another legendary or above rarity. If that even happens, support thumbs out. After the first use, you will use your basic attack to to charge her second ult. Using her second ult will do an area damage and enter her dawn state. In her dawn state, her SS, basic attack, and hold attack are enhanced, which makes her a menace at AoE. And I do mean it. She will be overly OP, to be honest. Attacking leads her charge dodge to decrease. After it's empty, the final ult automatically activates. The final ult deals heavy damage, heavy AoE damage as for all her other tech. The heavy AoE damage and ending her dawn state. Now I see what they mean by DPS support. She does feel more DPS focus rather than support focus, but we'll see how it works. I think she will be top tier for mobs and maybe even bosses. Moonlight is for sure a game changer and a must have. We don't know how major her promotions will be, but I am sure even at promotion level 1 she will be insane. Anyway, thank you for watching. This was a quick one. Sorry guys, I didn't have much time to analyze more stuff, but this is everything you need to know about this update. Hope you enjoyed the vid and see you. I might stream this update on Twitch possibly if I could. If not, then I will record a video of my first reaction to the update. Anyways, as I said before, see you guys. Hope you have a fun time and goodbye.